That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my
Hey everybody, welcome. Got a big one for you today. Here it goes. Something like this. Broadcast live from Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast in all the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tommy C. This is Shot from the Point, and I have with me the legendary Will Power that probably made the most mysterious and still talked about single DramaAlert episode of all time. How are you, sir? First thing is off, I was right. You're Canadian, right?
Yes, sir. I'm Canadian from Ottawa, Canada.
You're from Ottawa, but I was like, that's great, hockey guy, and then you tell me the worst news ever. You tell me you're a Pittsburgh fan. I mean, that you might as well do you like LeBron too? Like, you want to ruin my day? You know?
Yes, I'm a LeBron fan as well. Actually,
well, you grew up when Crosby was literally walked on water, or at least the media had him. So I sort of understand that, because when I was a kid, everybody rooted for the Bulls because Jordan was there. So Crosby is kind of the Jordan of his day. Look, I have a lot of stuff to talk about, and hopefully it'll be interesting. You know, one of the things I think my fans really dug is in the commentary community, which is generally what Keemstar, me, and other YouTube commentators are associated with. We have the commentator who screams and yells about other YouTubers being able to take criticism, and we often find out that those same commentators are just as guilty as that themselves. One of the things my fans were really impressed with is, and dare I say, you took on Vault, Will Powers, named Jeff? No, he's not.
Yeah, you got the Jeff.
Oh, I got Jeff. Oh, sorry. I didn't put the name in. Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Jeff's one of our co-hosts, so he just asked him.
Oh, yeah, Jeff's a co-host, and I didn't remove it. I am not feeling well. I'm having all sorts of health problems recently. But
wow. I didn't even notice that. It's all good. Not
very sharp. So I do apologize. This is not Jeff. Not Jeff at all. Hopefully you weren't fooled. So, oh, God, what was I talking about? So one of the things we noticed they don't really, and what I think my fans noticed is, dare I say, you almost take too much responsibility for the failure. I mean, I remember you using the words, "I fucked up," and yeah, I guess depending on how, if we're gonna get semantic about it, but did you really fuck up? Like, who did you hurt? And you say you're getting all these messages about people telling you to kill yourself. That has a lot to do with Keemstar's fan base, I think, and just like the type of people it attracts. We attract those types as well, so it's not it's not completely understandable. But I mean, I never got the feeling that you fucked up. I think I can make the criticism. All right, maybe you dropped the ball. Maybe you tried too hard. Maybe you put too much into it. What do you think went wrong after that?
Man, after I made that DramaAlert,
because Keem obviously believed in you, because we even found a video in 2016 of him coaching you for a future episode.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That video of me hosting DramaAlert wasn't the first time me and Keem, worked together. We worked together, I think, twice in 2016. Mm-hmm. And how that happened was I made a video on the Leafy situation. Okay. Because I think at the time in 2016, him and Leafy had this beef.
That's true. Yes.
And then I made a video on it, right? Mm-hmm. I go to bed, I wake up, and it says Keemstar followed you on Twitter. I was like, what? He saw that video? Because at that time, I was a smaller channel.
Gotcha.
So I was like, damn, Keemstar saw that and he followed me, right?
Oh, really?
And then from there on, we started talking a little bit. I asked him if he would be interested in being interviewed on my channel, and he said, yeah. And I was like,
no kidding.
Wow.
Were you?
I showed up to...
Were you in contention? Were you? Because he was looking for a lot. When he's in trouble, he was around a lot of guys. So I've talked to 8 Thoughts. Were you in contention for Baited at any point? Or was he thinking about bringing you in? No, you
never.
weren't. Because you would have been like the 5th or 6th person that I met that was in contention. I got the spot.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've been on Baited?
Yeah, I was Tommy C on Baited. I'm the guy. I'm the original guy. I'm the original cast. Yes, that's me. I got old. That's what happened.
So I've heard of you before.
Well, yeah, welcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're the Tommy guy?
Yeah, I'm the Tommy guy.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I can see why he did, because I watch these videos. Oh, my chat's gonna get a real kick out of that, man. So you obviously you saw something there. So you get the call to do the Drama Alert episode when, and you said it took like 5 hours or something like that. So maybe give us that whole process.
Okay, so 2017, right? This is, I believe, in September. Keemstar tweets out he's looking for a host to do Drama Alert, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
And I jokingly responded like, I'll do it. But I didn't think he would see it, answer.
Okay. Gotcha.
So 30 minutes later, I get a notification from him on Twitter. He says, you're doing Drama Alert.
Oh, boy.
I was like, I remember my heart, like, stopping for a little bit. I was like,
yeah, I got you. Believe me.
Like, this is a big audience compared to my audience. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
How much are you? You've made 800,000 subs. That's no small task. How big are you at this time? I've never even hit the 100K mark. How big are you at this time?
At this time, I was big, but like his community is
different.
Completely left from mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I come from like the gaming skit world, comedy stuff.
Gotcha.
And he's more like news and So his audience, I know they didn't know me like that at all.
Yeah.
So when he asked me to do it, I was like, damn, I feel like Michael Jackson about to drop Thrill. I'm crossing over to a new audience. You know what I mean? Then.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, you weren't done. Go ahead.
Yeah. So then he's like, pretty much he told me I have to edit myself. I have to make the video. I have to have it out at a certain time, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I start working on it. I film it. You know, his crew, we had a chat. They gave me the stories. I'm like, all right. And now where I messed up, I'm like, I'm thinking about all these theatrics and how to make it like a show, like an actual crazy show. Mm-hmm. And the emphasis on the entertainment part overruled the actual news. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did see that. I think that's probably a fair criticism.
And it was too over the top. Like I can't even rewatch it myself. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I know. You were telling me before that you have difficulty watching it. I have difficulty watching some of my old stuff. I think everybody goes through that, by the way.
Like, what was I thinking? You know what I mean?
Well, what were you thinking? I mean, obviously you didn't like you didn't take this job thinking, you know what? I'm gonna fuck this whole thing up. You obviously went into this. You know, this is a huge opportunity for you. And
that's the thing.
Again, you didn't fuck up in the sense where you hurt anybody. You know, you did. I assume you did your best. You know, at the time, and
at the time, I thought this was this is the best Drama Alert ever. Everyone's gonna love it. Keemstar's gonna have me back. I'm gonna be a new host. Mm-hmm. And I wake up the next day. I wake up and I see on Twitter Keemstar messaged me. He was hella pissed. He's like,
he's mad, huh?
F you, man. Like,
well, that's his bad call, if you ask me. I mean, it's like you said, you're from a different environment, so you're reading his fan base for the first time, right? You're getting thrown in the fire. So it was really kind of a bad call. He either should have I disagree with this. It was a bad call because he thought you were ready. You weren't ready. I mean, I don't think from some of the stuff I've seen you do that this is not an impossible job for you to have done. I just think that you had a bad read on his audience and he had a bad read on what you were ready for. So, I mean, ultimately he's a coach. He put you in, you just gave up a home run the first pitch. That was, I think that's the fairest criticism I can give. Now you make the response. I know it's only 20,000 people. The whole world should have saw it because you really took it like a man. And you said, all right, you're not the first guy to drop the ball in a big spot. It happens all the time. It happens every Sunday in football, So, so you and your attitude is like, all right, moving forward, I got this wrong, I got that wrong, and I wanted it to be great, and I'm sorry, and we're just gonna move on. But I think the most crushing thing I heard when you were talking is your own fans kind of turned on you. What was that like? Because that you probably didn't expect. Here you are, you're over 100,000. You're hottest. You're hot, and now people that that you see in your comments on a regular basis are saying messed up stuff. That must have been huge. What were you thinking?
It was huge, and I was like, "Damn! Is my reputation? Is this gonna taint my reputation? Am I just gonna be that guy who made a terrible Drama Alert?"
Yeah.
And what was crazy was a month after that, right? There was this YouTube event called YouTube Black. It's an actual thing. every year they invite like the top black YouTubers, right?
Oh no, were they goofing?
Yeah. Have you heard about it?
No, but I like where they. I just. I don't know. I was in the Army. I grew up around black guys, a lot of black Americans. They like to twist the screws, man. It's funny, you know. I mean, I grew up in New Jersey. I know young black men love to fucking, twist the screws. And you're not even American. You're Canadian. You go into that environment, and what happens?
So I show up to the event, and people, like, I would pass by, and people would recognize me from that Drama Alert. Like, people who didn't know who I was, Willpower, they have no idea who I was. They saw me like, oh, you're the guy who messed up on Drama Alert. And they would come up to me. KSI came up to me, and he was like, bro, that Drama Alert, what happened, man? Yeah. And this is my first time meeting KSI.
No, he's the biggest black YouTuber on the planet.
The biggest black YouTuber.
Like the biggest one in the
shakes my head.
Was he cool though? Everybody said. Was he nice to you though? Because everybody says he's a great guy. I haven't heard one bad thing about him. Everybody KSI, likes him. Man, yeah. Out of all the YouTubers I met, and this is to me ironic. Like, he's one of the most humble guys I've ever met, and he's one of the biggest. You know, he's the biggest, I think. Yeah, I've heard that he's not so much approachable because he's such a big celebrity, but if you get an environment where you're able to approach him, he's very approachable. You can't just like walk up to him in the street, right? But he's but man to man, he's a good guy, and he grew up pretty rich. He went to nice schools and what have you, and the English always have that reputation for being a little snooty. And I've heard nothing but good things. But he was really nice to you. He was really nice to me. But the first thing that came out of his mouth was the Drama Alert thing. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna tell Keemstar I seen you and I hated the Drama Alert." All this stuff. And Keemstar was DMing him while I was talking to him, which was like crazy. Yeah, they're pretty close. I mean, they've made a lot of money together. So. What happened in the days after that? Was there a major shift? Did you lose subs? Like, what did you have to deal with going forward? Because at the end of the day, this is a business.
It is a business.
You have to pretend it's not for your fan base, but it is a business. And, nobody wants to, if you're a plumber and you fuck up and there's a leak, you go over there and fix the leak. It's not like that in this business. There could be, the leak might be permanent. So what happened in the coming days?
Man, everyone was bringing it up, and the worst part is they were going to all my other social media and you're like cursing me out. Oh, no. People are like, "You need to die." Like, people. I remember because Keemstar tweeted about it afterwards a lot. Like, this was all over Twitter. Yeah. Keemstar tweeted, "Oh, the new Drama Alert was trash. I deleted it."
I know.
And people were going off, and then like other people who used to replace Keemstar would come out of the woodworks too. Like, yeah, that was trash. Like the Kavos guy.
Kavos, yeah, we're friends. Me and Kavos pretty good friends. He was really excited to hear you were on, by the way. He contacted me immediately. You got willpower?
Really?
He was really excited.
Keemstar replaced me with him, I think, the next day. His intro, he
took a shot. He was a lot younger back then. You were too. Let's not remember. You were a 19-year-old guy at the time. Now you're how old? It's 4 years ago.
23 now.
You're 23. You're a grown-ass man. You're 19. Like, you're kind of a grown. You're, like, legally a grown-ass man. But everybody knows you're not. Like, when I think back to when I was 19, I was an asshole. I mean, you were probably a lot nicer person than I was at 19. 19. And then, that's the way Kavos was. That's when Kavos was absolutely like ruthless. Like
how do you pronounce it? It's Kavos?
Kavos. It's actually a city in Greece, and I don't know why he took that name. I asked him once.
He's not from Greece.
No, he's not from Greece. He's from England, and he has Irish roots. So he's like an Irish Englishman, which is pretty funny. Kavo. Well, you always make fun of his lisp, but that's what we do. He has a big lisp. But that's when he was at his absolute. We used to go to war, me and Kavos, and that's when he's at his absolute meanest. It was a very 2016, 2017, 2018. This is a very unforgiving time on YouTube. Yeah. And it was really rough. So, did it affect you financially? Did it affect you going forward? And how was that?
It didn't really affect me financially. If anything, it helped a little bit because now more people knew me. Mm-hmm. And you know how they say, whether bad or good, all news is good news, which isn't really true, right?
No, it isn't. No, good news lasts longer. Bad news is only for the day. That's the problem with bad publicity. That's what I always tell people. They always say that all publicity is good publicity. No.
Yeah, that's not true.
Good publicity lasts for years. Bad publicity, it peters out because people want to go to the next bad story or the next bad guy or the next villain. So you're a villain for a week or two, and then next villain. And that's the way it really works because I'm a villain 24/7. I haven't hit 100K, so I know exactly what that's like. But we're doing something a little different in the radio stress. So that's the way I rationalize it to myself, But but things weren't that bad. I mean, things didn't hurt you that badly, or
well, besides that, because by that time I've already been on YouTube for like 7 years, so I was used to getting negative comments and stuff like that. So I didn't really care that much, but I'm just like, how long is this gonna last? So I'm like, if I just flood YouTube with new videos, hopefully people will forget.
Good idea.
Because at that time, there was a lot of drama going on.
Sure, so, all the time.
Something would be big today, gone tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that exactly.
So I'm like, this is just my time, and people will forget about it. But people didn't really forget about it.
No, it became kind of a legendary event. Because I mean, DramaAlert is. I don't know how much longer he's going to keep it going. I know he's making efforts because he's talking about retirement, and it's still a big part of our internet culture history, and that's not going. And then you're kind of in the annals of its side history. You know what I mean? And this was like here's another thing. Not too many people saw it. Like, because it was down rather quickly, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and they had to go. They actually had to make the
effort
to go see it. I remember, when I saw it, I didn't get through 2 minutes of it. I'll be honest with you. When I saw it, I was just like, I hope Keem doesn't go too hard on this guy, because you weren't doing the way it was expressed to me. It's like you went to Keem's house and lit it on fire and then walked away and said, fuck yeah! And that's not exactly what happened. You made your best effort and it didn't go the way you've hoped. What would you have changed if
first of all,
you could do it
based
again?
on what you said, yeah, it's true because Keemstar verbatim told me he took my video as an attack on his brand. That's what he said.
See,
it was.
That's stupid. He should apologize for that. Fuck that shit.
But sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, no, but actually, I think what you said was a lot more interesting. He took it. I mean, I know him, and I know he can see it, but it wasn't an attack on your brand. Would you really think that you wanted to sabotage yourself in order to hurt Keemstar? Yeah, he was paranoid back then, and I don't think I covered it, to be honest with you. I think I just mentioned it because I think I felt bad for you, to be honest with you. And anybody that Keemstar was fighting with at the time or had a problem with, I was on his side, I think, more or less automatically. So I decided not to rant on it. What would you have changed if you could do it again?
If I could do it again, ladies and gentlemen, okay, and hopefully this is foreshadowing, okay? Yeah. But if I could do it again, all right, I would make it the best DramaAlert ever. All right.
And what would you change
about 2017? And you would say, "Damn, how come he couldn't do this?"
Yeah, back then. We lose him. Hello.
Lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting a little lag on my. I think that was my end on my router. So don't worry about it. You said last thing I heard you say is, "How come you couldn't do this?" Go ahead.
Yes, I would make. Everybody would be like, "Damn, if he did this in 2017, then it would have been a good DramaAlert."
Yeah. So I can see what. But it is kind of. I mean, if you're a big DramaAlert fan, Will Power's name comes up in the conversation a lot. Remember the Will Power episode? Remember this episode? I mean, that's one way to look at it. And you said you had already been on, so you were 19 at the time, so you were on YouTube. You were like a YouTube celebrity pretty much all through the 2010s up until that point. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well,
where I was then compared to now, now I'm kind of in the dark. People, my channel isn't as popping as it was back then.
It happens to everybody, buddy. You don't have to explain it to me. I mean, everybody goes through peaks and valleys. It's just the way the entertainment world works.
Yeah. So back then I was, getting 8, 9, 10 million views a month. So at that point I was I could collaborate with Keemstar. He was on my podcast with Kid Behind the Camera, you know him, right?
Oh yeah. He actually donated $1,000 to a fundraiser we were doing for those folks in Afghanistan. He was really he's been. I don't know him personally. I don't rap with him on a regular basis, but every interaction I have with Kid Behind the Camera has been absolutely exceptional.
Yeah, I've met him a few times in person.
Yeah. Oh, you met him in person? What's he like?
Yeah.
What's he?
Very funny. Like a lot of YouTubers online, it's like I don't know if I meet them, are they gonna be like rude? Are they? But no, he was very nice to me.
Yeah,
very
he seems
nice.
like. Well, he's from Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of
and
like he seems kind of country to me. That's the way he comes off. He's a bit country. You know, that's the way the kid from the camera always came. It's a little bit of a. See, I grew up 30 minutes outside of New York, so everybody that lives 30 minutes away from there is a bumpkin or a hillbilly. Oh. That's the way I see it. You know.
Yeah, like I kept getting him and Grimm's Toy Show. Mm-hmm. I would get them mixed up all the time. So it's either I met him or Grimm's Toy Show, and I thought one was the other actually.
Oh, Grimm's Toy Show. Boy, there's a name I haven't heard in years. Grimm's Toy Show.
I might have. No, I think I met Grimm's Toy Show and thought that was Michael. And when I met Michael, I thought it was Grimm. Something like that.
Oh, that's so funny. That's terribly funny. That's terribly funny.
And if you guys are watching that, I'm sorry, man.
Did things kind of wind down for you after that? Or it really didn't affect you all that much? Maybe things started slowing down just because this was the natural order of things, or do you think that the DramaAlert episode kind of made the thing sort of go faster or something like that?
You know what?
I lost him again.
Was people perhaps not wanting to collaborate with me because they associate me with that? Because Keemstar did tell me, he did tell me privately that I believe some YouTubers messaged him like they were upset that they had me on or something like that. He told me that. Like some YouTubers did message him.
I think they called him up and they started goofing on him is what they probably more than likely did. They were like, "Why'd you put that guy on, you dipshit?" That was probably more like it. I was like, I can't imagine. He always makes it more dramatic than it really is. I don't buy that people... Because he's done that to me. You know, people talk to me every day, Tommy C, and they say you get a lot of things wrong. I don't know what they're talking about, but you get the fuck out of here, Keem. You know, like nobody's doing that. It's just a fear tactic and what have you.
So are you and Keem cool?
Now we are, yeah. Maybe not after this, but fucking I don't care. We've been fighting for years. But no, I'm actually really cool with you, Keem, and I'm hoping the retirement goes smooth because actually I don't, from my perspective, I don't want to lose DramaAlert. I think it's kind of an important thing, especially with all these new T channels. Like, look, I'm not sitting there saying that commentary community journalism is like top flight New York Times. Well, not the New York Times is even the New York Times, but journalism. But I think with the influx of the T channels, when we screw up, we eat each other, right? They just put out lies. I mean, just straight up lies, and they don't care. Whatever sticks against the wall. And there is... I wouldn't say people do look out for their friends and they do protect their friends and stuff like that. I see that all the time, but the T community is why they don't have a Keemstar. They're just growing all the time and they have no journalistic balance. They have no interest in the truth. If they make a mistake, they don't go on and say, "Hey, look, I took that video down because I made a mistake," which does happen all the time. That's why DramaAlert needs to exist. I wish Scarce was more active too, to be perfectly honest with you.
And you see, even with all my drama with the DramaAlert Keemstar thing, I never stopped watching him.
No, I didn't make me like,
I'm done. I kept watching him every year, every video.
And I didn't really bother. Did you ever have a good, like, I can understand, what I think happened is he got pissed, right? I understand him getting pissed. And then he told you a bunch of bullshit because he was trying to really try to console himself. Was there ever a time after that where he said, "Hey, what's up?" or "How you doing?" or checked in on you?
No, but I remember that same year, like around Christmas time, I messaged him like, "Happy holidays, Keem."
And what'd he say?
He didn't answer.
You fucking asshole. That's Keemstar. But you take it with such a grain of salt because like most people would get really, really mad, and you're not a Keemstar enemy by any stretch. I don't get that.
Oh no.
From you.
Like literally, if he hit me up today, I'd be cool with him. But anybody, if we had a press, if they hit me up today, I'll be cool. I'll work with you. You know what I mean?
You're too Canadian. That's the problem. You're too nice. They raised you too nice over there. You got to be a prick like Americans.
Like Americans.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You have you have this. I liked when you did put your when you did put your name out there and you said, look. you got like, it's in the name. You have no idea about willpower, and it doesn't sound like it really hurts you all that much. Do you have I understand it hurts you from a collaboration standpoint, and I believe that. I don't think Keem went from door to door and said, "Don't work with that guy." I don't think he had to, right? But I do know what it's like to be nuclear. I know that feeling. So yeah, that probably hurts you, and that's the price of making a big mistake. And I think that's what we'll call it, not a fuck up. You made a mistake, but you made a mistake in like the best way. I mean, the only thing, you weren't getting paid for that. He doesn't pay people to do that. You're just trying to make it as good as possible so people will be entertained and they'll like you, and that's your payment. And that's your payment. So like to sit there and think that there would be some kind of sabotage or what have you. It's just how you. It was just, it's just a bad call. I think it was just a bad creative call. That's all it is at the end of the day.
I remember Keemstar tweeted out once, like I think there was somebody else hosted the show and they did a bad job. And Keemstar tweeted out a picture of me and he said, "Today's Drama Alert in one picture." And it was just me. So it's like my Drama Alert, he still brings it up like every so often, like perhaps once a year. He didn't do it this year though. The
biggest criticism that you got was the way, and I have a jackass laugh too. So I'm like, this is the pot calling the kettle black. All right, that you went for the laugh too much, which I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the laugh. I think it creates excitement, but you did. I think you did too much, and it did push people the wrong way. To get that in there. Was there a reason you did that at the time, or you weren't even thinking about it?
I was just being an idiot, man. I don't know what, like, I'm telling you, when I look at that, it's like I'm looking at a whole, like, seriously. I look at that, and I'm like, did I actually think that people would find this funny?
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to hit render at some point. Did you watch it before you said it? I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to say it like that. But
at the time I did, and I'm like, oh, this is fire. People are gonna love it. Yeah. And there are even moments I added in there to try to like try to make it try to meme it, and like you can't meme yourself. I know that now. You can't meme yourself.
No, you really.
Most memes happen out of the blue,
Yeah, you can't meme yourself. All the memes that I've used or stuff like that, where people make fun of me or something I said, it's from the fans, and they came into they. I have this saying. Well, I don't have this saying. I'm going to say it now. The fans make your T-shirts. Like I made it up just now. No, the fans make your T-shirts. That's really what they do. They decide what's good or what's bad for the brand, and then it's your job to embrace it. And sometimes you got to embrace things you don't particularly like. I think my most famous meme is when I have a can of Beck's and the picture makes me look like 5 years older than I was at the time. I think I was like 39. I think I was like 39 at the time. I look like a meth head, but it's a funny picture, and people dug it. So I just like, well, great, and that's what you got. And that's not always easy for people, because you have this idea as a YouTuber, this is the image that I'm going to project and this is what they're going to love. And it's almost never the case.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's never the case. It's too bad. All right, I'm going to ask you a little here's the problem I had with your video, right? And I love ethnic jokes. I'm all for them. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think as long as they're not done hatefully, they're great. I don't think there's wrong with ethnic jokes if you're goofing on your own ethnicity. Do you think you went too far with that a little bit? Because I don't want to say as a white person, because that sounds obnoxious as fuck. I did get the feeling when I was watching it, like that you thought you were kind of speaking to a white audience and maybe thought they were all racist. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody, I like, not every white guy's racist. Now, I know you, I'm sure you didn't do that on purpose, but I think that in combination with the laugh, I could see some hillbilly in Arkansas like, hey, I'm not being a hillbilly, but I ain't that racist. What do you calm down with that shit? Like, but I like those jokes personally. I make them all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with them, and I think they're actually it's despite what the woke crowd says, I think they're good for society to laugh at ourselves and laugh at
The
certain,
Alex joke was great. The Alex joke was great.
The grape juice thing was cool. The Alex thing, that's another thing. You killed it on the first opening. Like the first thing when you came up, hey buddy, it's Alex. And that's like brilliant. That's great. It gets a big laugh right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I just, it doesn't go there. It just gets a little uncomfortable after that. Did you think about that going in, or was that your style, and were you adopting it to DramaAlert?
It's like you got it down to a exact science. Like I was thinking, okay, this is a whole white audience, you know what I mean? And Keemstar beforehand, he tweeted on Twitter. That sounds weird. He's like, today on DramaAlert, we're gonna have our first African American guest.
And you're Canadian.
Canadian, right?
And you're Canadian.
I'm like, aha, that's going to be my whole shtick. The first black host of DramaAlert. So I had to add in black. So that's what I was thinking in my head, you know? So
you went heavy. Oh, okay. Was that your style though? On your some black creators do that. They rely a lot on ethnic comedy. Was that your style prior to that, or is this the first time you ever done anything like that?
I think it was my first time on my on my channel. I wouldn't do. I was over the top on my channel, like in certain videos.
Yeah, but not with racial stuff.
Oh, racial stuff? No, I don't think I ever really touched on it. No.
I mean, not all the jokes. I mean, like we even said, like we watched it recently. Not the jokes aren't all bad. It's the delivery that is uncomfortable, right?
Exactly.
Grape juice the grape juice was funny, but it was uncomfortable, you know. And another thing is, I think you may have both misjudged. I don't think DramaAlert is as white as you think because it's worldwide. So I think it's like it's probably more of a shade of gray than anything. But yeah, I mean, I could see. You know what I mean? Like, Keemstar's the whitest white man that ever walked. I mean, Jesus Christ. The only thing makes him a little less white that he's Sicilian. But I think he's got Sicilian roots. Most people in that whole area, the Italian descent, usually have Neapolitan or Sicilian roots. I'm assuming he's Sicilian, to be honest with you. So, I could see Keemstar's pretty white, you know, and maybe he tracks that. But I don't think I think Keemstar's like transformational. I think he connects with, you know, regardless of ethnicity. I think people really like him. Yeah, his show
definitely transcends. Like, it's not something that, you know, you have to be white to understand or black to.
Yeah. It's funny.
The news. Everyone watches the news.
Yeah, it's the news, and you gotta like the presenter, and he has his own sort of. He comes from what he calls gaming entertainment, and there's a whole style there. And in gaming is not necessarily white dominated either. I even pro gaming I would say is Asian dominated, you know, in a lot of ways. So yeah, you really are speaking to the world when you're going on cuts. But you know, again, you were 19. You know, how long were you out of your parents' house at that point?
At that point, 3 years.
Oh, so you left a little early. You're still a kid.
Yeah, like right after high school.
How did that go? Did family ever find out about it?
Oh yeah, everyone.
Family goofing on you too?
My parents though, like YouTube, you know, to them it's like it's a generational thing, you know. They were like, what is that? They don't really know what it was, right?
Yeah.
But like for my other family, my cousin and stuff, my cousins, they messaged me, they were like, yo, that was trash. That was terrible.
Oh no. Did anybody give you did anybody come to you and say, I liked it and or I did like it, but I still love you? Or was everybody negative? Did you get any breaks anywhere?
No, the only people who told me they liked it were people who I didn't know, like fans, people in the comment section. Some people were saying, you know what, I actually liked it. Some people were saying it was good, you know, but you had to like scroll deep to find that. Like for every 100, this guy sucks. There's like, oh, I liked it. This guy sucks. This guy, I liked it.
I liked it. Yeah, well, that's. I remember there's a scene in the movie. I don't think I watch it now because I don't know how I watched it when I was a kid. I had less of it. There's a movie with John Denver and George Burns called Oh God. All right. And the thing with Oh God is George Burns is like 90 years old when this movie was made. He's old as dirt. And he is God. And he approaches John Denver and he says, here's the deal. I'm God and you're going to tell everybody you know me, but I'm not going to appear anywhere. I'm not going to back you up at all. Right. And that's your commandment from God. So you got to do it. Right. So John Denver starts going on all these shows and saying, I'm talking to God, and he says you should do this, and he says you should do that, and what have you. And people are calling him a nut and a shit, like a charlatan and a liar, and like his whole life's like getting ruined. And then he gets in a cab, and then God's driving the cab, and he says to God, what are you doing to me? You're ruining my life. Like I can't, like, why? Why are you making me do this? Nobody believes me, and you won't even back me up. And he says, look at it this way. For all the people that don't believe you, and as he pulls up to John Denver's house, and it's filled with wackos, right? Think of all the people that do believe you. And he opens the taxi, and he's surrounded by weirdos that believed every word he said. You know, and that's like one way to do it. So for every negative thing you had, you probably had more people that like, I really dug that. I really dug that. That's too funny. Oh man. So family was goofing on you, man. What the fuck?
Everyone, man. Everyone. And I have to agree with them, man. Like at the time I agreed with them.
Yeah.
Now I agree with them. You know what I mean? And
does it hurt?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Let's be honest. Like, I don't think this is being a bitch or anything. Does it hurt? Like thinking back then, or did it hurt? I think it's better now. Maybe you can laugh at it now. But was there a? You don't seem like somebody gets depressed very easy. You know, you don't strike me. No, you used to roll it off. That's why I like you. You just kind of roll it up. But was there a time where there was like nobody in the room, and you're like, wow, this is intense. You know, this is not what I wanted, and this doesn't seem fair. Was there a moment like that?
Only the first 10 minutes. When I woke up the next day and I went to my phone, I'm waking up and I see on Twitter, F you from Keemstar, and I was like, huh? He's like, yo, the DramaAlert was trash. I was like, what? Nobody liked it? And then I went to DramaAlert on YouTube. The video wasn't there, and I was freaking out a little bit.
No. That's
and
it?
then when I woke up and I saw what was going on, I'm like, oh, damn it. Damn. Like, I just committed suicide.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You made a mistake.
And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
after a while, I was like...
You think of all the people that have gone through that channel. You know, we're talking pedophiles. We're talking, you know, people that really hurt other people, made false allegations about sexual events, people that have preyed on children, all the people that he's reported on. And all you ever wanted to do is make everybody have a good fucking time. And so, like, I don't think there should be any sort of, like, yeah, there should be some, I mean, it's 4 years ago, but there should be examination, like, oh, I don't want to do that again. You know, I get that part. But as far as, like, you really handled it super well. Is there a reason, like, you just don't get down very easily? Because for most people, that would be, especially in the YouTube field, that would be like shattering. Like how do you deal with stuff like that? I mean, how do you get to a point where you just don't care?
Well, I think with me, like one of the number one reasons why I'm like this is because I had multiple near-death experiences in my life. Related
to? I'm not too familiar with your
background. Like car accidents, you know.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. So when you go through that, your brain completely shifts to a mentality of literally any day could be my last. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't want to spend the last day on earth depressed or upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's just one way.
So I'm in that constant state of mind. Every day when I wake up, I think about death. And that might be a little unhealthy. I might have to speak to someone about that.
Yeah, but it makes you happy. How bad could it be? Maybe I'm thinking maybe I should be like you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's part of it being black too. You never know what could happen. I don't want to say that.
Are you in a dangerous area? I see you in a nice area, you know. I mean, you're
Canada. No.
You're Canadian. What is who's the rapper from Canada, Matt? What's his name? The big cheese up there. Drake. What do you think? Drake's gonna come over and like do a drive-by where you live? Is that what's gonna happen? I mean, is that dangerous over there?
Oh, there's some very dangerous places like Toronto. Like some cities in Toronto are very dangerous.
Like, is there like Indians? Are they gonna come out and scalp you? I mean, I don't know.
No, well, I used to live in British Columbia, right?
Okay, that's a whitey tighty fucking picket fence area, isn't it? Am I wrong?
I mean, have you heard of the serial killer Robert Pickton?
Yeah, but that's like a freak. That's like you get hit by a serial killer's like getting struck by lightning. Getting robbed, beat the shit out of you. That's a lot more common. You know what I mean? You get hit by a serial killer. You know nothing about Canada. I know there's not as many serial killers in the United States, Fletch.
Yeah, well, the United States it's way more populated than Canada.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I know.
So just statistically, you'll have more serial killers, right? But
yeah,
I had a lot of near-death experiences growing up. So like my brain automatically goes to, okay, you woke up, this might be your last day. So I never like being depressed. To me, I can't. Like,
I don't have it that extreme, but I have something like that. I mean, you know, I was on Baited, it failed. I mean, I feel a little kinship with you, and it's through Keemstar. It failed, but you know, as time went on, and I realized, like, yeah, but you got this tiny podcast, and people show up to it, and they really enjoy it. And
wait, why do you think you failed?
Well, I think the podcast just ran out of gas. We couldn't stand each other. You know.
What?
We couldn't stand each other. We hate each other's guts.
It doesn't exist anymore?
No, it's been gone for years. It ended only went like 8 months, 6 months, and people still come to me. So we, like I said, we have something in common. I like your story because, like, you know, people still come to me, like, I would say daily, and I'll get I've watched you since Baited. I watched this and what have you, and have you been since Baited, and blah blah blah. And in the one sense, like, for years I was angry about the way the whole thing came up, but there's another sense, like, I didn't have shit but a hockey podcast and 10 people showing up. And for the next 5 years, it'll be the 5-year anniversary next month that it broke up. And for the next 5 years, I had like a dream come true. Was it YouTube big? Like million sub, 500? No, it wasn't. But I had something, and I was being able to pay the bills with it because I'm a streamer and not a YouTuber in the traditional sense. And I've got to, you know, I've met YouTubers. I went to England. It's been a real blast. I got to spend more time with my kids, you know, having to work out at home. So yeah, I didn't get the big money, and but I got a good living, you know, and I still do 5 years. And I'm 45, dude. There's nobody doing what I'm doing. So I mean, like, yeah, like, Keem picked me when I was 39. He thought I was about 29, 30. When he picked
You're
me.
not 45 years old.
I'm 45, yeah. So
what?
Yeah, and I've gained some weight. So believe me, if you look at the old pictures, you'll believe it. So yeah, I'm 45 years old. So
I would have guessed like you're in your early or mid 30s.
Well, they thought I was like my 20s when I was in my 30s. So I got lucky that way.
Damn. And they say black don't crack. Wow.
What do you mean? You black people look great when they get older. I was watching the fucking Ghostbusters. They had Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, and Dan Aykroyd. And Ernie Hudson looked great. And those two shriveled up old white men look fucking old as fuck. You know, you have the best genes in the world. Black people age so much better than white people. You know?
You know who ages really well as well? Like, they're not black, right? Italians.
No, they don't. I grew up with them. No, they don't. They hit the wall, especially the women. They hit the wall running. The guys not as much, but like once an Italian woman hits 30, has one baby, she's like 70 years old for the next 70 years.
What?
Oh God, you kidding me? Italian broads? No, you're just in love with them or something. You probably got
I guess I don't have enough experience.
You got Italian? Oh God, you kidding me?
First time in my life.
Jesus, and they all cut hair and they're really loud and. Yes, I've lived the Italian American experience in New Jersey growing up. Believe me. Actually, I was engaged to an Italian girl.
The Sopranos.
In that area, yeah. You know when you see the area, you watch the beginning where it says "drive safely" on the oil tanks.
Yeah,
that's where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, that's serious. Yeah, that's where I grew up, just like right behind those in Woodbridge, New Jersey.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And I watched that series for the first time this year. Like not.
Oh, did you like it? I guess it's great, right?
One of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Did you watch interesting enough? Did you watch the movie that came out last month?
No, I read the reviews for it, and I'm like, nah.
See, I had a different take. I liked it, right?
It was good.
But you should only watch it unless you watch the entire series. But
yeah,
I don't. No, I think it was good. I was shocked by the reviews, to be perfectly honest with you.
Really?
It's another episode of The Sopranos if it took place in the mid-'70s. That's it. That's all it really is. It's an episode of The Sopranos. You know, it might have been cooler if they did it like an entire series with it. Then they could develop the old characters. Because I think people, and that's the thing, is like people really want to know what happened to Tony Soprano. And I'm like, fuck that shit. That's what was cool about it. I love the way they ended it. I would never change a thing. And I would never, if I was David Chase, I'd never tell anybody what happened. Right. But this to me was a lot more interesting. And you see Tony sort of develop and how he kind of gets pushed into the whole thing through some, some macho bullshit. I really liked it. I thought they did a great job. And it looked like all the pictures from the 60s and 70s that I saw when I was a kid. Of my parents and grandparents. Like, it really looked authentic as hell, so I really liked it. It's a love letter to Sopranos fans. That's all. It's not Goodfellas. It's not The Godfather. It's a love letter to Sopranos fans. So I recommend watching it. And I thought Gandolfini's kid did a pretty good job, but he's not really a part of the movie. I loved it. I had one of the best amazing ending, by the way.
Really, and Ray Liotta from Goodfellas is in it,
and he damn near stole the show. He was like one of the best. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And Ray Liotta was supposed to have James Gandolfini's part. He was supposed to be Tony Soprano for the longest time. He didn't take it because Lorraine Bracco was there, and they thought there would be too much callback to Goodfellas.
Yeah,
so it was probably better they did it the way they did. So he always wanted to sneak Ray in there. He loved Ray Liotta, and Ray Liotta's from like a town or two over from me in Springfield. He grew up in New Jersey as well.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, yeah, and everybody, I remember when it came out, like everybody, like the Sopranos are gods in New Jersey. Right?
Oh, you were watching it when it came out?
Oh, I was living in New Jersey when it came out. Like, everybody would sit there and, like, if there was something like an area that everybody knew, you'd all go to work the next day and think, I saw such and such, and I saw that, and I've been over there, and I saw the Pizza Land place, and did you see the opening where he drives down Route 9, and it was a really big deal if you were from New Jersey,
Wow.
And then it was loosely based. The coolest part was if you were really, really into mob stuff. Around 2000. The Cavalcanti crime family, which is the legitimate crime family in New Jersey, was caught on FBI tapes talking about the Sopranos and comparing themselves to the Sopranos. So you have a real crime family comparing themselves to a mock crime family, and it went a long way to convict them of a RICO statute, because what better proof is we're gangsters, we're a part of this chain, this family, right? We're a part of this family. Yeah. That's going to put you in jail for a long time if you admit you're, under RICO statute. So the Sopranos actually got a lot of the guys in the Cavalcanti family to do some serious time. There's also like direct comparisons. One of the guys that ran the Cavalcanti family in the late 80s was outed by his girlfriend for being gay, and his own gang, they got rid of him. They whacked him. He's disappeared. They never found his body. The guy who played Tony Soprano, which was the guy that they called in Vinny Ocean, had a strip club. He lived in a mini mansion, and he drove the same type of car that Tony Soprano did.
Wow.
Yes. So there's like a lot of, like, I didn't know this till actually I joined the Army. There's a lot of comparisons like to stuff that happened, and David Chase took those things and he put them in there. Will, are you going to pull an application into put an application into DramaAlert? Did you know that? He's taking applications.
For a new host.
Taking applications?
Yeah. This could be your second chance, Will.
Here's the thing, right? I thought about that, but here's another thing I didn't explain about the initial DramaAlert drama, right?
Yeah.
A year after the whole thing with Keemstar, right? I remember I DM'd him and I told him, "Hey Keem, look, if I were ever to do DramaAlert again,
you were on the shot.
I promise you it would be good." He screenshots it and tweets it out, and
that's just being mean to you, Dan. Yeah.
And he just happened it. No.
I do remember that. Oh no, I remember that now. It was pretty funny, actually. No, I do remember that. Oh, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and you see, I feel like now I'd be ready to take on that role. Too. Like, not in perpetuity. I wouldn't want to do that like as a long-term gig, but I think I would make a good show like today. But I haven't had a positive interaction with Keemstar since then, really. He's never spoken to me directly since then.
He's using you as a meme, and that's kind of cruel.
Yeah.
Well,
but he did tweet out that we're cool. He said I'm cool as well.
Well, you are cool. I mean, there's nothing. You don't have any ill will. I don't think I would have been I wouldn't have taken this as well as you've taken this. To be honest with you, I would have been a lot upset. No, I'm a mean motherfucker. I'm more like him than I am like you. I'm a mean guy.
So if you replace me with you and this happened to you, you made a drama alert. He said it's trash. How would you react to that?
I would have ate it like you did. But when he continued to disrespect me, I would have said something about that as well. That's the difference.
Yeah, maybe I should have though.
I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't have. You know, like I was in a 4-year war with him. I don't necessarily want to go back into a war with him. You know, It's not my idea of a good time anymore. Well, Will, you are always welcome with the losers from Shot from the Point. I think you fit in really good over here. What do you think? What do you think, Matt?
Oh yeah, he would.
I mean, I'm about to do something. I like to stay in touch with you, and I go into a special server. Okay, it's Shot from the Point news server, and what I do is I give people, but I really got to trust them, and I usually have to know. But I like to talk to you again, and I think it would be funny. We used to do a Drama Alert. We do a couple uploads. Maybe we could collab and we could do Drama Alert type stuff in the future on here. And then maybe you could, if we have a couple good episodes, maybe that happens. Maybe that happens. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a link. Hold on a second. I'm going to send you a link to the news server, and we're going to give him. Click on this when I send it to you. How do I get in there now? Okay, bang, bang. All right, click on that. That's going to open up the server on my hidden server. I spent a lot of time. You can just come in there and say hello. I spent a lot of time in there.
Do I click join?
Yeah, just click on join. Click on join, and then I'm going to make him a trusted gamer, which is a rank in there. And then you just come in there anytime. And there's other big there's other big YouTubers in there too. Don't say who they are.
Really? Like who?
Go look. Don't tell us anything. Like PewDiePie. What do you think? Get the fuck out of here. What do you think this is? It's not that big.
It's working for me.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you being on. It's a really great story. I think there's really you have more than willpower. You have a really good way of looking at things. And I sort of envy your ability to handle pressure and failure for that matter. Because I gotta be honest with you, the best that's not a bad thing when I said failure. Like the best people I know are not afraid to fail. They take big risks because it's like, okay, I failed. Everybody laughs at me. Next, and I think there's a lot. I think that's what should be taken away about what you've done. Like, hey. He's got 800,000 subs. That's a huge accomplishment on this platform.
Yeah.
That's an incredible accomplishment. And I wouldn't mind working with you in the future if like we can click, because if we can click, we'll see what happens. I think it'd be funny if we make Drama Alert style videos on here or something.
So,
like that.
but you're cool with Keemstar now.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Keem. I don't have a problem.
So if he asked you to do Drama Alert, you do it?
He wouldn't ask me. There's still some. He would never ask me to. There's still some, probably. I think on his end, there's. Look, we're cool, but we both said shit about it. It got really ugly. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some open wounds there somewhere, and we don't like to pick at them.
Did this beef happen online? Like,
yes,
do people know this?
It was a 3-year war.
A 3-year war?
Yes, it was. Yes.
It was happening as he did the Drama Alert, right? Like around that.
It was in the middle. It was like a 3-year full-scale war. He would come in there, we'd fight, call each other names. We said horrible things about each other's family. It got ugly, man.
Really?
I actually I don't regret much. I do regret some of the things I said because it just made me look worse, and where it may have gotten a laugh or maybe it's like, oh, Tom's ice cold, but it made me feel like I was giving my soul up a little bit.
Yeah. But who reached out first to truce?
Klaus was crazy.
He helped you bury the action.
There was here's what really did it. We were just warring like 2 or 3 months earlier, and what ended up happening was there's this guy I am Alex who was just terrorizing the community with false rape allegations, and he was a friend of mine. Yeah, and I'd met him in London, and it became apparent that he was basically trying to destroy another kid, another YouTuber. And I felt betrayed by him.
That's
Kane
a lot
was
of money, I guess.
always said the
for
guy
a
was
person of
trash,
color.
and you know, we wanted to get the story because he was really popular at the time. We wanted to get the story about this guy's destroying people's careers by making unfounded allegations, like the worst type of allegations. So Clown came to me and he said, "You want to do One Last Baited, right?" And this is 2 or 3 years after Baited was over, 3 years. And I said, "No, I don't think I could stay in the room with him." And then he explained why it was a good thing, and I said, "Let's do it." Right? And then it was reasonably, like, he didn't trust me, but it was reasonably comfortable, and I think it was a good episode.
Did it go well? Yeah.
And it was the final episode of Baited too. So, you know, it was. So I'm kind of proud of that. But yeah. But I mean, it's like this. He doesn't trust me. I don't trust him, but I support him, and he has done a lot of things to support me since then and helped me out with a lot of things since then. So it's like it's a weird relationship. But
get him in this live stream.
I'm surprised he wasn't in here, to be honest with you. He usually comes in when there's stuff related to him in here. No. So that's the kind of relationship we had. I support him. He's done nice things for me. He helped, boost my YouTube career. And of course, I didn't reach the heights that they did, but I wouldn't exchange it. I like being, you know what I realized? Like, I think your YouTube style was perfect to gain a lot of subs, especially in that time period. My YouTube style is niche. I'm a niche person. I have niche hobbies. So I'm going to crack the niche crowd. So it's just the way it is. And you know what? When I was a kid, I hated when my favorite bands got big. I hated when Metallica put out the Black Album and Enter Sandman. I hated that because then they weren't mine anymore. So if I got to be a niche entertainer, let's do it. You know what I mean? It would be nice to be as big as you are, or are.
I mean, my channel's pretty dead now. Like, if you see my most recent videos, they don't get past 5,000.
All I see when I look at you is 8 fucking plaques. That's what I say. Like, you did something right. There's something to be learned from what you were doing. Any kind of, like, the one DramaAlert episode, and that sums your whole career up. I'm sure that's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, to some people, they only know me from that. They haven't.
They only know me from Baited. I'm fine with that. I'm more interested in the truth anyway. Yeah, that's the way it goes. You got to be careful. You got to play your cards right. But like, I never forget how lucky I am, and I'm kind of getting the vibe that you feel the same way. Yeah.
Like, despite what happened, Keemstar still gave me a chance. You know what I mean?
You got the big stage. Yeah, sure. I mean, like, and you know what? For all the people that said kill yourself and you suck at this like that, they wouldn't be able to. Not only would they never get the water, they'd fail 10 times worse. That's the way I see
this, right? I do have a feeling, right? That you haven't seen the last of Keemstar and Willpower.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, this might be a step in the right direction. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna end the show.
It is legendary.
It is cool. It's cool to talk about, and it's cool to have kind of a niche. Like, you're a part of a special part of DramaAlert history. Whereas, like, there's a lot of DramaAlert episodes that they don't have history to them. Not every one is a classic. Like, if you think about maybe the one that just happened with and the one when that poor guy got shot and swatted, the Lion Maker stuff. There's historic episodes. You got one of them. you got one of them, and that's more than a lot of people can say, because this stuff it's a lot of luck. It's a little bit of talent and a lot of luck, and hoping people accept what you're trying to give them, and that's it. Well, I'm going to end the podcast right here. You stick around. We're going to be going off the air. Thank you, Willpower, for being here with us. It's been great, and maybe we can do something. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping 5's black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read the Migos to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headline.
Watch me get